Hey everybody, this is Roadblock. It is November 1st, 2018, and it's time for Browns Talk again. We've had quite a whirlwind going on this week with Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley both getting fired, reportedly because they couldn't get along, which resulted in Greg Williams being named the interim head coach, and Freddie Kitchens, who was the running backs coach, being elevated to interim offensive coordinator. As a result of that, the Browns have hired former NFL quarterback Ryan Lindley of Arizona Cardinals fame, or infame, or whatever you want to call it. He's now going to be the running backs coach, but I suspect they may have brought him along as another former NFL quarterback that's around Cleveland right now to possibly help out with Baker Mayfield. A little background on Ryan Lindley. He was drafted in round 6 of the 2012 NFL draft by the Arizona Cardinals. He spent 2014 on the Chargers practice squad. November 2014, he was signed off the practice squad back to Arizona and replaced Drew Stanton, who is ironically the Browns' third-string quarterback right now, on December 11th, 2014. He spent the 2015 preseason with New England, and in December of 2015, he signed with Indianapolis. 2017, it looks like he spent in the CFL playing with the Ottawa ROADBLOCK'S until they released him. He then went and spent some time as a graduate assistant coaching at San Diego State until yesterday when the Browns hired him to be their new running backs coach. The Browns also held a introductory press conference today for Freddie Kitchens, who is the new interim offensive coordinator, to, I guess, formally introduce himself. So let's take a look at a few clips from the press conference earlier today.
I'm very excited about the opportunity. I've always wanted the opportunity, but not under any circumstance, under these circumstances. But I'm here to do a job, and I'm going to do the job. I did not. I did not see anything at all like this coming. We come to, this is a very emotional game, and coaches and players, and from time to time there's things that happen, but I don't really know what all happened. I just know what the end result was, and I know we've got to deal with it at this point. No, we're running the same system as we ran before. We're not changing systems. We're not doing anything. Todd and I have the same system. He brought me up in this system, and nothing's going to change from that standpoint. What I do hope we can do and are able to accomplish is that we are able to execute better, do the things the way we're supposed to do them, how we're supposed to do them, and when we're supposed to do them. And if we do all those things and have good communication in doing that, we'll be successful. And when we are successful, that's what's happened. And when we're not successful, that's not what's happened. So it's a pretty simple game if you go from the standpoint of communicate it, know what you're doing, know when you're doing it, and know how you're doing it. And then you'll be successful.
Baker Mayfield had a press conference yesterday after practice. Let's hear what he had to say about his thoughts on the Browns possibly hiring Lincoln Riley, his college coach, as their new head coach for next year. Let's take a look.
I love Link, but we have what we have. He's doing his thing, and I'm doing mine. Not worried about that. Coach Williams is our head guy now. Freddie's our offensive coordinator, and we need to roll with that. We need to believe in that. We have the team that's capable of winning in this locker room, so we've got to trust that.
Okay, so as you heard there, and as you heard the other day when we had the clip from Lincoln Riley's press conference, actually we'll play that clip again real quick here.
People already firing your name out for the Cleveland Browns job. Do you have any interest coaching the NFL?
Knew that was coming. No, not right now. You sit there and answer these questions, and I always want to be truthful. The truth is, for me, is I love Oklahoma, I love coaching here. I love college football. I certainly don't have that itch right now. I don't know that I ever will, but I'm never going to be a guy that's going to stand up here and say, no way, no how will any of these things ever happen. I don't know that, but I know right now I could care less about the NFL. We're trying to win this game and trying to make a run that we all think we have in us right now.
Okay, so as you can tell by listening to both of those two at their respective press conferences, neither one is really sounding like they want to get excited about this possibility. And honestly, I don't understand why Lincoln Riley would leave Oklahoma. I mean, one, he's got job security there, whereas coaches in Cleveland are known for not having any job security at all. And second of all, I don't know if any of you pay attention to college football stats, but if you pay attention, Kyler Murray, the guy that's playing QB for Oklahoma this year, looks better than Baker Mayfield. He's putting up better stats. So it's being widely reported that the Browns head coaching job is probably going to be one of the premier coaching jobs available this offseason, if you will, which is really weird because most people if you're a Browns fan and you remember back when Mike Pettin was hired, his daughter actually was on Twitter and she was like, hey, my dad got a job. Well, it's the Browns and that kind of sucks, but oh well. Hey, at least he got a job. And so you can tell right there, people usually aren't very excited. Being a head coach of the Browns is usually not their first choice of a job. So the fact that people might actually be seriously interested in coming to coach this team with all the young, talented offensive and defensive pieces that this team has in place right now, it could work out good for Cleveland. We could end up getting a decent coach for a change. I don't know that Hugh Jackson was entirely to blame for this entire season because honestly, he was doing better this year than he was the last 2 years put together. And a lot of the losses that you could attribute those to the refs blowing bad calls, Zane Gonzalez and Greg Joseph both blowing kicks that cost the Browns points in games. Honestly, the only two Browns games I've really seen this year, and I was there for the Browns and Chargers game in person, we weren't there. They did not deserve to win that game. And the last game against the Steelers, I really don't think we should have won that game either. But every other game that we've played this year, we've been right there. We went to overtime 30,000 times already this year. So, I mean, you can take that for what it's worth. But be looking for the Browns to be on the rise here in the next year or two if they can land a decent coach with the right values that line up with what ownership and John Dorsey is looking to do with this team. So that's it for today's edition of Browns Talk. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. And we'll be back with the latest Browns news for y'all. So until tomorrow, this is Roadblock with the Browns channel, and I'll catch you then. And I'm gone!